What are the college ball convos we need to be having, Tone?
Yeah, we had a big one in the SEC a few weeks ago between Alabama and Georgia. Now we got the big battle in Oregon this week. Number 2, Ohio State versus number 3, Oregon. Fun fact, that's what they were to start this year. They've taken different routes to get where we are today, but they are back to number 2 and number 3. They'll be in Oregon Saturday night, 7:30 on NBC, and Ohio State is short favorites in that one.
Hell yeah.
How do you think this goes? Oregon is, I'm watching that place. It is electrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oregon has been electrifying. Coach Dan Lanning, I think he's 38 years old or something like that.
Young.
39 years old. He's incredibly young. His team moves to a new conference in the Big Ten. Now they start out a little bit shaky. Now the Boise State team, are they better than anybody could have imagined whenever Oregon played against them? Possibly, especially with the Heisman being on the field or future Heisman, Jeanty. It's like if they have one of their down games, though, like last week against Michigan State, they turned the ball over twice in the red zone out of nowhere. If you do that against Ohio State, you're going to get got. And I think Oregon knows that. I think Coach Lanning knows that. I think his team is ready for the moment. But this Ohio State team is also built for the moment as well. AJ, as Ohio State legend, what are your thoughts on this Big Ten, big battle happening in Oregon between number 2 and number 3 this early in the season?
Well, I was actually on with Bobby Carpenter and Schlegs earlier. Bobby does a show, and I joined him today for a little bit and was talking about, this is an awesome opportunity for Ohio State. You get to go on the road and think about, what it feels like to go into a huge environment, a game with all this hype, all this build-up, and if you can go in there and get a win and take that long flight home, I think it's a huge thing for your team. You got to find a way to win many different ways. I've been reading that they think this might be a low-scoring game because both defenses are very good. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, but either way, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you think Ohio State's offense is going to show up no matter what?
Yeah, I think with the two-headed monster running back and obviously what Jeremiah Smith does and all the other weapons, yeah, I think we could have a little bit of a shootout, hopefully.
I like the fact that Ohio State fans are feeling a little bit disrespected. After giving up a touchdown, it was kind of sluggish here out of Ohio State, even though they win by 28 points. Now he's like, they're saying that this is going to be low scoring. Is
that right?
Do they know that the Ohio State we're not low scoring? That is not how our offense is. Is that kind of the mindset from Ohio State people?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're very Ohio State people are very optimistic heading into this one.
Okay, very optimistic heading into this one. Con Man, I know you love piecing together parlays.
Oh, yeah.
I know that the Ohio State Buckeyes have been dominant. Mm-hmm. Have they played anybody? Is this Oregon team about to be a wake-up call for the Buckeyes?
I don't know if it'll be a wake-up call because of the fact that anytime Ohio State loses, the sky is falling. That's what we talk about every single week. So no matter what, every week it feels like they have to play well, have to win by 50. But whenever you get these games, whoever wins is the number 1 overall team in the country, no matter what, both sides of the ball are going to show up. I can't wait for this one.
Coach, Chip Kelly going back to Oregon there with Ohio State. There's no feelings there? There is feelings there, or is that already passed?
No, there'll be some. Yeah, no.
Hell yeah.
How long's it been?
Long time, and he played there before.
No, he's got
lost
a game.
them.
He's got a game to win. He's got his hands full because the defensive line for Oregon, they got a bunch of creature features on that side. Yeah, so I don't know anything about Ohio State's offensive line, but they're a load, and then special teams are going to play a factor in this one. Boise could have won that game up there. I know they started slow, Oregon did, but 2 kick returns for touchdowns. So keep an eye on special teams in this one.
Let's talk about Boise State, though, because it got brought up, and it's not a part of the college ball convos, although Jeanty is a part of the college ball convo because he's a legitimate Heisman candidate at this point. You have been pushing Boise to us and merch to us and Jeanty for a while. Boise State people surprised about what's going on with Jeanty, or is this expected?
It's expected, but, the first play of last week's game, he goes 65. And then he runs a couple up the middle, and a couple series later, he goes 75, breaks another 10 tackles. The guy is just phenomenal.
He's not playing.
And then
full
he doesn't
games.
even play 2 halves, right?
Yeah,
Portland he didn't play the second half, and then we didn't play him in this one. I understand there's some gamblers that got a little upset on an over/under on rush yards, but the guy is just, yeah. You're up 45-17, against Utah State. There's no reason to keep the kid, and he's a selfless kid, so it's not like, hey, I need touchdowns, I need yards, I need this. No, he understands. He gets it.
So to get the Heisman at running back is obviously going to be very difficult in this quarterback world that we're in. If he goes for over 2,000, we just assumed that you would get it if you did that. Melvin Gordon won for over 2,000 with Wisconsin back in the day. He went for 2,600.
2,700 total yards, yeah.
2,700 total yards,
29 touchdowns.
Yeah. How many rushing, though? It was
I think it was 29 rushing.
No, I'm talking yards.
26, 36 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 2,600 yards he went for rushing.
Man,
okay, so
absurd.
They're going to say that Jeanty's going to go for 2,000. When Gordon did that, he did not win the Heisman.
No.
He did not win the Heisman because Marcus Mariota went for like 50 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota went
4,500
absolutely
yards.
bananas. So we all just assume if he gets to 2,000, that'll probably solidify Heisman because that's insane. It's like has happened in the past and has not won the Heisman. If somebody other than a quarterback wins, it has to be a very, very, very special year. Jeanty is on course to do that. So is Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is doing some insane things, and if Colorado continues to be a Big 12 conversation, which they have a big one this weekend with Kansas State. I mean, that's a massive Big 12 game. But if Colorado goes on to win games too, like everybody's assuming they're not going to win games before the season when they're talking about Heisman, number one overall pick, and everything like that. It's like they're winning games now, and they're in it a wide open Big 12. If they win and Travis Hunter continues to play 160 plays or 150 plays a game and continues to be as prolific as he is on both sides of the ball, it's like Travis Hunter has a real opportunity to win the Heisman this year. Seems to be a very open Heisman candidacy, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago it was Cam Ward who was the favorite, or Jalen Milroe, was the favorite, and then obviously he lost and dropped back, and Cam Ward dropped back as well because Ashton Jeanty and Travis Hunter were 3-4 last week, and now they've moved up. It feels like a year that it could happen. Now, if Cam Ward, their schedule is not hard. Their schedule is they may be Clemson in the ACC championship game, but Cam Ward could definitely put up some numbers as the season goes on. But so can Jeanty because they don't play a tough schedule coming up. And then Travis Hunter, if he keeps, he's 112 receiving yards a game with a touchdown per game. He's got 6 on the year and then 2 interceptions. Like if he keeps doing that,
it's insane.
There's definitely a chance.
Yeah, and you got people like Connor who's like, before the Drake May announcement of starting quarterback, he's like, we're in Travis Hunter watch right now, brother. We got a quarterback. We're trying to go get Travis Hunter at the top of next year's draft. They're must-see TV. What are some other things we need to talk about college ball?
Quinn Ewers is back for the Red River rivalry this weekend against Oklahoma. He was out for 2.5 full games plus a bye week for, they called it a oblique strain. So he's back. He should be good. He was fun fact. He was the Heisman favorite before he got hurt after that incredible performance against Michigan. Last year's Red River rivalry, Quinn was 31 of 37 for 346, a touchdown, but he had those 2 costly picks in the first half. But no, he normally plays well in these big games. Excited for Quinn to get back this week.
And it has been very openly stated that this is Quinn Ewers' team. So Quinn Ewers has a half or 3/4 or even a game that doesn't go great. And Arch Manning's sitting over there. What happens? Quinn Ewers comes back in balls, which everybody expects because that's how good of a player Quinn Ewers is. They just move forward, this Texas team, on a hunt, hopefully, for the big one down there with the Longhorns. What's another college ball convo we should be having?
We got a big one down in the Bayou this weekend. Ole Miss goes to LSU, and everyone know LSU at night is a absolute different animal down there. These two played last year, Ole Miss and LSU. It was 55-49, and they went over 1,300 total yards in the game in this one. Obviously, the offenses are great for this one. Garrett Nussmeiser's throwing for like 350 a game for LSU. Jackson Dart doing the same thing for Ole Miss. Watch out. Trey Harris got hurt, the wide receiver for Ole Miss. I think he's got like almost 900 yards on the season, 150 a game. He got hurt against, South Carolina last week. On Monday, Lane Kiffin said if we played today, he wouldn't be playing. Obviously, they weren't playing on Monday. He's listed officially as questionable, so we'll see how that one goes on Saturday night.
That environment,
awesome.
That's like going to an AA meeting and a football game breaks out. Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Having a good time down there?
Yes, sir.
Every coach has talked about it down there. Like, you think every game is the same, huh? Every away game is the same. Try to go down to Baton Rouge. Try to go down
See
there.
what happens.
Try to walk in there and see how it goes. It's different. It's hot as shit, thick.
Bunch of Cajuns drinking for 12 hours before the game.
And their songs are like very savage.
Yeah.
Like the things they're saying is good. Hey, good for LSU, their fans, for just being known as like, doesn't matter who's coaching, doesn't matter who's playing. This is going to be a tough place to come play no matter what. And then also in college ball, go ahead, pal.
Yeah, this is not your fodder's or your fodder's Vandy team. Obviously, I mean, last year they didn't even have a stadium. The scoreboard was being held up by cranes. That's your fodder's Vandy. Not this year. Their win total was 2.5 before the season. Their SEC win total was a half before the season started. They have gone over both of those. Obviously with the win against Bama last week, and then they took They beat Virginia Tech week 1 and took Mizzou to double overtime. Vandy's looked great, obviously behind Diego Pavia, who came over from New Mexico State last year. He had 33 touchdowns last year to, I think, like 9 interceptions with New Mexico State last year. Comes over to Vandy, leads the team in passing and rushing, and has completely turned around the culture, it seems, at Vandy.
Kind of a dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Very much a dog, Diego Pavia. And I think, this is what NIL can do for you, especially if you're in a great city. Like Nashville's a great city. Obviously, their fans have been desperate for their team to be worthy of a celebration in which they can take down a goalpost and carry it through the city and dump it into a river and get fined $100,000 and celebrate a big win like that, beating Bama. But it's like NIL with Nashville. It's like in the SEC.
Rich alumni. Like we can do this.
You can sell that place.
Yeah.
I think you can. And Diego Pavia obviously is a massive get through the transfer portal. Has changed it all. Are they able to continue it? I think why not? Why not at Vanderbilt?
Absolutely.
14-point dogs this weekend against Kentucky. That seems like a lot.
Sure does.
Kentucky's been in a couple dog fights.
They have Kentucky. The thing there is Kentucky's got a very, very good defense. So we'll see. We'll see there.
Yeah, the good team. The SEC, deep.
Yeah.
Because even the Vandies, no offense to the Vandies, aren't the Vandies anymore.
No.
That's wild, AJ. It is wild what's going to end up being what's going to happen whenever there's 12-team playoff, obviously. How many teams with how many losses get in from the SEC and the Big Ten? That is the conversation. And all these things we're saying right now, LSU at night, okay, they're not even a team that we're considering going, but we beat that team. That doesn't count as good of a win as like beating Wisconsin? Is that a conversation that's not like those things are going to happen at the end, even though it's 12 teams as opposed to just 4 teams.
Yeah.
It's like these things are all going to happen and take place, and it's like wide open seemingly everywhere, but is it? It's how many teams from the Big 12 are going in? How many teams from the Big 12 are going? West Virginia's getting in.
1.
Yeah,
What?
That's it. Just
They gotta win out?
WVU.
Just West Virginia.
Just the champion.
What's
What's that, AJ?
They have to win out probably to get in.
We got time.
Just the Big 12 champ.
We're gonna win the Big 12 championship, then bang, we're in there. Now this weekend's a big one. This weekend is a big one with Iowa State, because Iowa State is very much in the conversation to do it. This is a game Neil Brown, in the history of Neil Brown, has lost.
Because it's the third game and he's won 2 in a row.
Bingo. But also it's a massive one, hey, could propel us into a new place. At home.
Top 25.
Special jerseys, special uniforms. This has been something in the past that maybe this team has lost. Not this week.
No.
This is when Neil Brown says, this is why you trust to climb. We're at the top.